and his name's going to be Edouard Julien. And he plays for the Minnesota Twins, second baseman. He's 6'2", 195. He's 23 years old. He was drafted in the 18th round by the Minnesota Twins in 2019. Pick 539 overall out of Auburn. Ross, would you break down our number one second baseman?
Edouard Julien. So this guy is an on-base machine. That's where he's supposed to get his power from. Played for Auburn, as you mentioned, had a very, unremarkable career there, which explains his draft position, which is very low. But he's been a really good pro. After the 2020 season, maybe that's what he needed. Maybe that was his, charging year or whatever it might be. But he debuted as a 22-year-old in single A and spent most of his year actually at high A. And overall in the season, he hit 267 with a 434 on-base percentage and a 480 slugging percentage. So really high on-base percentage, right? That's the thing that sticks out to you, that pops.
Yeah.
110 walks.
Yeah.
We're talking about 514 plate appearances, 110 walks, 144 strikeouts. So he struck out a lot, but he was clearly waiting for his pitch. 110 walks, got on base plenty of times, hit 18 home runs, and stole 34 bases. Okay, so that was 2021, his debut. Pretty good debut, but I think everybody's still kind of thinking 18-round pick. He's older, low minors. This is not that notable. So this season, he's followed it up with at Double-A, all season at Double-A, a 300 batting average. Significantly improved his batting average as he moved up levels, which is important. 441 OBP, so he also increased his OBP, and a 490 slugging percentage, also increased his slugging percentage. Overall, hit 17 home runs and stole 19 more bases. So the stolen bases were down. Everything else across the board pretty much up. Home runs down by 1, but less plate appearances. So barely. About the same amount of plate appearances, but 1 less home run. Pretty much the same. Those are pretty good numbers, aren't they? And if you're in an OBP league, can you ignore this guy?
Did you know anything about him before this year? Were you already looking at him?
Prior to this year, I don't think he was really high on my radar.
Okay.
This year, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about the strikeout numbers?
It's a little bit high. It's not problematic. I don't see it as being problematic. Right now we're looking at percentage-wise. Last year, he struck out in 28% of his plate appearances.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little high, but it's less than Samad Taylor, as an example. And he walked in 21% of his plate appearances.
That's the thing. Like, when I look at this guy's numbers, swing the effing bat, man.
Well, and he started doing that this year. That's the thing. You can see what the adjustment was. There's 2 adjustments in his career. Coming into 2021, his adjustment was to be extremely patient. Just basing this off of his college numbers, so I don't have any special insight, but it looks like he made a concerted effort to be very patient, maybe throughout most of his career. And then this year actually pivoted a little bit to being swinging the bat a little bit. And that might have been guidance he received. Might have been somebody that told him, look, what you're doing is great. You got to swing the bat a little bit more.
He got on base 196 times. So 196 times compared to 125 strikeouts. Like, the guy gets on base. And when he gets on base, he can do some damage. He's got a little bit of speed, a little bit of kick to him. And then he couples that with a little bit of power. There's some real excitement in this guy's profile that I completely overlooked. Yeah, I did look at him and had him, oh, who's this guy? And kind of scrolled over him and stuff. It didn't impress me. It impresses me when I dive into it. Like, wow, he really did some special things. Like you said, he's a little bit older at 23. He's going to be 24 in April, and he's in AA. Probably stay the whole year in AAA. Agreed? Well, I mean, he'll start out in AAA and then maybe a call up to the majors.
The ETA tool at Scout Statline has him debuting next year. So
Yeah.
We'll see if that holds up. But at least within the next 2 years, presuming like we don't fall apart. 2023 or 2024, he'll be up in the major leagues doing something.
Yeah. I think he is the polar opposite of Royce Lewis, where everybody thinks the world of Royce Lewis. Nobody's looking at Edouard Julien, and I think that's a shame.
So maybe this is a red flag, or maybe this is a good thing. I don't know. He gets a comp to Ian Desmond.
Ooh, I don't like that at all.
You remember Ian Desmond's career?
He struck out like 85% of the time.
Struck out a lot. He was a pretty notable prospect, and he had a really long career too. But he had seasons where he hit 25 home runs. He hit 20 home runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in his career. That's not a bad career. The fate of most of our guys are going to be Ian Desmond or less.
What is Edouard Julien? Is he a go get him?
Yes, Edouard Julien is a go get him because he's going to be cheap.
Yeah.
Because nobody is really looking at this guy right now. Scout the Statline has seen him as the best second baseman. We talk about position eligibility all day. I think he's worth acquiring in deeper leagues. I don't think you give up your guys that are better at more common positions for this guy. Prospects, stick with the guys that are most likely to make it right now, because you never really know where the position is going to shake out. But sure, if you have an open spot, or if you are able to bring him into your fold, I think he's worth going to get, and I don't think it would cost that much.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and of course visit our website, scoutthestatline.com for more.